Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're plunging into, well, one of humanity's most enduring and, let's face it, perplexing fascinations, gold. We'll be sifting through a treasure trove of insights, really, from Matthew Hart's fantastic book, Gold, The Race for the World's Most Seductive Metal.
Right. And our mission, if you like, is to extract those vital nuggets. We're looking at gold's physical reality, its huge role in history,
Yeah.
its often pretty chaotic impact on societies, and its very tricky presence in today's financial markets. You know, what is it about this metal? Why is it so alluring, yet so often tied up with violence, with greed, even fear?
We'll journey together then, from, the deepest minds on Earth.
Incredible places.
Right.
Right up to the highest financial circles. We'll uncover some surprising facts, challenge some common ideas about this seductive metal. So yeah, get ready to unpack how this seemingly simple element has shaped so much of our world.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start somewhere that sounds almost, well, sci-fi.
Yeah.
The imponing mine in South Africa.
Imagine Manhattan Island, sliced in half, stood on end. It's imponing. Deepest man-made hole on Earth, almost 3 miles underground. It's just, the scale is mind-boggling.
It truly is. This underground city, basically, has 236 miles of tunnels.
Wow.
That's 30 miles longer than the entire New York City subway system.
No way.
Yeah. It uses as much electricity as a city of 400,000 people, and there are rivers of water running through it just to keep it cool enough to operate.
And the journey down there, it sounds absolutely terrifying.
Oh, it is.
You get in a cage, right? With 120 miners. And in 4 minutes, you plummet 1.6 miles. That's 46 feet per second.
Your stomach just drops. Your ears block.
And you feel the weight of that steel rope, 2.5 inches thick, weighing 12 pounds per foot. It's like descending into another world.
It is. And that descent, that's just the start of the dangers. Imponing experiences something like 600 seismic events every single month.
600.
Yeah. And these aren't just little tremors. They can cause rock bursts, rock literally exploding into cavities, or fall of ground collapses. I mean, we've seen the horrific results. Vol Reefs in 95, 105 miners killed.
I remember that.
Or Goldfield South Deep Mine in 2008, 9 men lost. It's inherently dangerous work.
And the conditions themselves, extreme doesn't even cover it, right? Rock temperatures hitting 140 Fahrenheit.
The 40F, yeah. And 95% humidity.
How do people even work in that?
They have these massive ice slush cooling systems. They pump chilled air down constantly just to make it, well, bearable.
So despite all the incredible engineering, detonating thousands of pounds of explosives, removing thousands of tons of rock daily.
Using backfilling, stress reduction, rock bolts, wire mesh, all of it.
It's still described as a truce that will always break.
Exactly. The rock at that depth, under that pressure, it's just fundamentally unstable, always unforgiving.
And the human cost is undeniable. 4,000 men vanishing into this underground maze every single day, enduring that heat.
You hear about ghost miners, their skin turning gray from the lack of sunlight.
So, given these extreme conditions, this incredible sacrifice, does that actually sort of reinforce gold's value in our minds? What does it say about how far we'll go for this specific metal?
I think it absolutely does. It reinforces it not just economically, but culturally. The sheer brutality of getting it out of the ground, it underlines the mystique, doesn't it? It shows this raw human compulsion for gold.
That's a powerful way to put it. Okay, so after seeing the sheer brutality and human cost of extraction, it really makes you ask, what is it about gold that drives this? Let's shift then to its enduring mystique. Thomas Gray's proverb comes to mind, "Nor all that glisters gold."
Indeed. And what's fascinating is the contrast, isn't it, between gold's past sort of sacred aura,
Yeah, like Charlemagne's reliquary.
St. Edward's crown, the altarpiece in Seville Cathedral, symbols of divine right, glorifying God.
Right.
And then you have its modern power, which is just chaotic, driven purely by price fluctuations. It's become this abstract commodity, a cipher for commercial wealth.
That sacred connection makes the story of the Incas and the Spanish conquest just heartbreaking.
It really does. Atahualpa, the Inca ruler, he completely misread the Spanish. He thought they were after the horses.
He didn't realize it was the gold they craved.
Not at all. And his ransom offer, filling a huge room, 22 feet by 17 feet, with gold,
And 2 smaller ones with silver.
took 8 months to collect. Just imagine the volume. 28,000 pounds of gold, 58,000 pounds of silver, a literal river of treasure flowing to Europe.
But it bought Atahualpa nothing in the end.
Nothing. The gold flowed out, he was executed, the empire collapsed. Brutal.
So how did this sacred metal become just another commodity? Was there a single moment, or was it more gradual, a slow erosion of that spiritual meaning?
I think it was definitely gradual. You had those Spanish galleons bringing this stunning treasure back to Europe.
Which increased Europe's gold supply 5 times over in just a century.
Yeah, exactly. That sheer influx started changing how people saw it. And that flood of physical gold, eventually it led to paper money and ultimately the gold standard.
Yeah, it was a huge shift from lugging sacks of coins around Europe
Cumbersome doesn't begin to describe it.
to the sheer convenience of bills of exchange and then actual paper money, backed by gold or silver initially, of course.
And for those familiar with the gold standard, the appeal was, well, stability. Or perceived stability, anyway. Fixing your currency to a set amount of gold.
Gave it credibility.
Supposedly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave central bankers clear signals, almost automatic rules. Gold flows out.
Mm-hmm.
Tighten your belt. Reduce spending. Gold flows in. Maybe you can loosen things up.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality was often much harsher.
Oh, definitely. And it had fierce critics. John Maynard Keynes famously called it that barbarous relic. And the historian Barry Eichengreen argued it actually caused the Great Depression.
Right, by preventing governments from injecting cash, from stimulating their economies when they needed it most.
We see these ruthless passages, as Hart calls them, throughout history, don't we?
Absolutely. Like the run on the Bank of England in 1797, panic over false rumors of a French invasion.
Or the Louisiana Purchase. Napoleon needed gold for his wars, so he sold a vast territory to the U.S.
For gold, specifically.
Yeah.
And then you had gold just pouring out of the U.S. to Europe in the 1830s because of price differences. Arbitrage left America practically drained of gold.
It's funny, though, how the massive gold discoveries in the 19th century California gold rush, producing, 848 tons in a decade, actually destabilized things?
Paradoxical, isn't it? That flood of new gold messed up the bimetallic system, where countries used both gold and silver.
And it pushed more countries onto the gold standard, like Germany in 1871.
And the reason given wasn't just about gold itself. A German politician basically said, not because gold is gold, but because Britain is Britain.
It was about perceived power imitating the dominant economy.
Exactly. Which brings us to that American financial crisis in 1890. Investors were dumping American debt. Gold was flowing out again.
The U.S. Treasury was nearing insolvency.
And who steps in? The big man himself, J. Pierpont Morgan. He basically rescued the Treasury. That event just hammered home how impartial, how unforgiving the gold standard could be. It set the stage for even bigger changes.
Okay, so fast forward to the Great Depression. The wheels are coming off the gold standard, right?
Absolutely. Britain abandons it in 1931.
And then it's like dominoes. 47 other countries follow within days.
Total panic. Runs on central banks everywhere. Trust just evaporated.
And in the U.S., Roosevelt takes some pretty radical steps in 33.
Drastic is the word. Executive Order 6102, basically confiscating private gold.
You couldn't own gold bullion anymore.
Nope. And then the government deliberately rigged the price. They devalued the dollar against gold to try and kickstart the economy. Treasury Secretary Morgenthau actually wrote in his diary about him and Roosevelt deciding the new gold price each morning over breakfast.
Just setting the price themselves. Amazing.
A real assertion of government control over money itself.
So after World War II, they try to rebuild the system with Bretton Woods.
Right. The dollar gets pegged to gold at $35 an ounce.
And all other major currencies get pegged to the dollar. America basically held all the cards and most of the gold.
2/3 of the world's monetary gold. About 20,000 tons sitting in Fort Knox. It was the anchor of the whole post-war global financial system.
But that system started to creak too, didn't it?
Oh yeah, cracks started showing. U.S. spending, particularly on the Vietnam War, created these huge dollar surpluses overseas.
More dollars out there than gold to back them up at $35 an ounce.
Exactly. And countries like France, under Charles de Gaulle, started getting nervous. They began demanding gold for their dollars.
Calling America's bluff, in a way.
Pretty much. This pressure led to the collapse of the London gold pool in '68. That was an arrangement where central banks tried to hold the price at $35. Speculators just overwhelmed them.
So by 1971, the pressure is just immense. Foreign governments are holding mountains of dollars.
And the U.S. gold stock at Fort Knox can't possibly cover all those claims.
Like that French economist said, asking America to pay its debts in gold was like telling a bald man to comb his hair. It isn't there.
Perfect analogy. The situation was completely untenable.
Which leads to Nixon's secret meeting at Camp David.
With Treasury Secretary John Connally, yeah. A very dramatic moment.
And the result, the Nixon Shock of August 15th, 1971.
Boom. Nixon goes on TV, suspends the dollar's convertibility to gold, just cuts the link, and slaps on an import duty. Political dynamite. A total break from the system that had run the non-communist world since WWII.
And the reaction was split, wasn't it?
Completely. Jubilation in the U.S. The thinking was prices would stop rising, jobs would be created.
But overseas, dismay, confusion.
Gold wasn't hard currency anymore. Its value became, well, a matter of opinion, as Hart puts it.
Phantom money.
Or just a sentiment indicator. Its worth now derived purely from perception, from trust, or lack thereof, rather than any fixed backing.
So while gold's role as money is basically ending on the world stage,
A parallel revolution is happening in how we actually find this stuff.
speaking of hidden things, this discovery of invisible gold in Nevada.
Right, the Carlin trend. Ralph Roberts, back in the 1930s, though it took decades to really exploit, he found microscopic gold, literally invisible to the naked eye, trapped inside limestone.
Completely changed the game. Gold wasn't just shiny nuggets anymore.
Exactly. It redefined what gold ore could even be.
And that discovery paved the way for modern extraction methods, right?
Right.
Like cyanide processing.
The cyanide and pulp, or CIP method, and even cheaper, heap leaching. Suddenly you could profitably process huge amounts of very low-grade ore.
Stuff that was considered worthless before.
Precisely. Added billions of dollars of value to mining operations overnight. Made deposits viable that nobody would have touched previously.
Okay, so that leads to another major shift. China, suddenly becoming the world's biggest gold producer.
Yeah, kind of surprising given communism's historical view on private wealth.
Yeah.
But China's gold sector just exploded, a real frenzy.
Tens of thousands of mines.
Estimates vary wildly, from 10,000 to 60,000. Everything from tiny family digs to massive state-controlled industrial operations. It's this strange mix of central control and almost Wild West capitalism.
And Western companies tried to get involved.
They certainly did.
Yeah.
But many ran into what Hart calls impenetrable bureaucracy.
Like Plancerdome, Mindoro. They found big deposits.
Yeah, they did the hard work to find the resources and then basically lost them. Their expertise, their discoveries, ended up benefiting Chinese entities. A real cautionary tale.
Though some, like toxic Bob Friedland, managed to make it work.
He found success in Inner Mongolia, yeah. Leveraged China's cheap power, cheap steel, cheap labor very effectively.
But alongside this industrial boom, there's still a big problem with illegal mining.
Oh, huge. These gold lords and countless peasant miners operating outside the law,
Yeah.
often defying the government, sometimes violently.
Armed conflicts even.
Yes, and causing massive environmental damage with crude, often toxic mining and leaching methods. It's a chaotic, dangerous underground economy.
So, from China, let's travel to West Africa. Gold's legacy there goes way back, doesn't it?
Centuries. Empires like Ouagadougou, Ashanti, renowned for their incredible gold wealth.
The golden stool of the Ashanti.
Exactly. Gold was deeply woven into the fabric of society, signifying power, status, the sacred.
And today, modern exploration is big there too. Senegal, DRC.
Absolutely. You have places like the Kibali mine in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a huge 10 million ounce deposit.
But it's a region of stark contrast.
Incredibly stark, dazzling modern technology, right alongside extreme poverty and destitution, often literally side by side.
And that brings us to the really dark side. Conflict gold, especially in Congo.
Yeah, it's horrific. Artisanal miners, often working in appalling slave-like conditions, forced labor, massacres.
And the militias funding themselves through gold.
Exactly. Gold is so easy to smuggle, so valuable in small quantities. Hart mentions a human rights group calculating you can fit $700,000 worth in a briefcase.
Wow, that just fuels the conflict cycle, a terrible human cost that persists.
And behind the scenes, you have intense corporate battles for control of these massive deposits like Kibali, these cashed-up tycoons, as Hart calls them.
Mark Bristow, Lucas Linden, often known for extreme sports too, interestingly.
Yeah, there's this sort of high-octane, high-risk culture around chasing these riches. It's the modern gold rush, ruthless and driven by immense wealth and raw power.
Okay, let's pivot to the markets themselves. The trading volume today is just insane.
It's a mad bizarre, yeah. Get this. In just 3 months, in 2011, $15 trillion worth of gold changed hands in London.
15 trillion.
Trillion. That's 125 times the amount of gold mined globally in a year.
Or twice all the gold ever mined in history.
Exactly. It really makes you wonder how much of this trading is about actual physical metal versus, well, paper promises.
And part of that market has always been quite secretive, right? The London gold fixing.
Very secretive. 5 big banks meeting twice a day to set the global benchmark price. Hart describes them as polishing furtiveness like it's family silver.
Huh. That captures it. A real lack of transparency at the core of the market. Mm-hmm.
Then came the ETFs, the exchange-traded funds, like the Spider launched in 2004. That made gold accessible to ordinary investors.
Big time. Suddenly, anyone could buy gold easily through their brokerage account. And that Spider ETF quickly accumulated a massive amount of physical gold, more than China's central bank held at the time.
Brought gold out of the vaults and into the mainstream portfolio, but it also added instability.
It did, because it created this huge pool of easily traded paper claims on gold. And rumors started swirling. Do these funds actually have all the physical gold they claim to?
Right. That suspicion alone could trigger sell-offs.
Exactly. It added another layer of uncertainty, a potential disconnect between the paper market and the physical metal.
And speaking of physical metal, that story about the Brinks mat robbery in London is chilling.
It really illustrates a key point. They stole tons of gold bullion, hugely valuable.
But they couldn't easily spend it. Right. It was incredibly difficult to convert that much physical gold into usable cash without leaving a massive trail. It led to this long, violent saga of crime and murder. It shows that while gold is valuable, it's not necessarily liquid, especially illicit gold.
It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? So valuable, yet so hard to launder in large amounts.
It has a physical reality that cash doesn't. And then there was that mysterious BIS gold swap in 2010.
Ah, yes. The Bank for International Settlements? What happened there?
They suddenly revealed they'd taken in 349 metric tons of gold via swaps, basically, temporary exchanges for cash. Huge amount. Came out of nowhere.
Caused market panic.
Big time. Because nobody knew why. Speculation ran wild about manipulation, about some hidden crisis.
And what was the real reason?
It eventually came out that commercial banks were effectively borrowing gold, likely from their customers' unallocated accounts where the bank holds gold on your behalf, but doesn't earmark specific bars
What?
to temporarily pretty up their balance sheets ahead of the new post-2008 financial crisis stress tests.
Wow, so using customer gold to look healthier.
That was the strong suspicion. A fascinating, if slightly unnerving glimpse into the hidden plumbing of the financial system and gold's role within it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's just clear gold has this incredibly complex, multifaceted identity.
Absolutely. It's gone from sacred object to, well, financial instrument. But it's always, always tied to human ambition, conflict, economic cycles.
And inseparable, it seems, from speculation about disaster or misfeasance or manipulation. Always those whispers.
It doesn't function as formal currency anymore, obviously, but its value just persists. Driven, as Hart says, often by doubt and suspicion. It moves with other assets, but it still has this unique gravity, this allure.
We've covered so much: the sheer scale of mining, the deep history, the secretive markets, but that fundamental question kind of lingers, doesn't it? If gold has so little practical use, really, beyond jewelry and some niche industrial stuff, why are we still so utterly bewitched by it? What stands out to you about gold's enduring power in our world today?